everyone. I'm Hillary Howard. This is the opening round. You know how it works. Each team begins with 100 points. 10 up for a right answer, 10 down for a wrong answer. Contestants in the studio do not see what you do on the screens at home. Let's begin. November in history. Please identify the following events, all of which occurred in the month of November. 1969, 250,000 protesters marched in Washington to protest this Asian. Landon.
Vietnam War.
Correct. 1983, Martin Luther King Day was signed into law by this 40th president. Wootton.
Reagan. Ronald Reagan.
Correct. 1903, this country declared its independence from Colombia. Wootton. Panama's right. 1947, Howard Hughes made the first flight in this airplane.
Spruce Goose.
That's it. 1948, Britain celebrated the birth of this current Prince of Wales. Wootton.
Prince Charles.
Correct. 1611, this Shakespeare play with Prospero and Ariel. Wootton.
The Tempest?
Yes. 1922, Howard Carter found the tomb of this young. Wootton.
Tomb of Tutankhamun.
That is right. 2012, this Republican lost the presidential election.
Romney.
Yeah, that's it. And that's the end of the round.
It's Academic with Hillary Howard. Sponsored by Giant. New things are happening at Giant.
That dancing ram is known affectionately as Rammy from McDonough, played by Casey Higgs. Nice dancing, Casey. All right, it is time to meet the teams. We begin with McDonough High School from Pomfret in Charles County. And first we get to meet Madison Thompson.
Hi, I'm Madison. I'm a senior, 17 years old at McDonough. And I'd like to thank our mascot, Rammy, and SGA for coming down to support us today.
All right, Franklin Olmsted.
I'm Franklin Olmsted. I'm a 17-year-old senior at McDonough High School. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Miss Abel, and our alternates, our alumni, who were able to come out and support us today, and also all the family and friends.
Great. Shadea Miller, hiya.
Hi, I'm Shadea. I'm a 16-year-old junior, and I would like to thank our alternate Hunter Stephan and our principal, Mr. Snow.
Questions are worth 20 points, nothing off for a wrong answer. Here we go. Take one word from each column, and you'll get the name of what second highest mountain in the world, also known as K2. Answer?
Mount Corbin.
It's Godwin Austen. Idyllic, stormy, long-lasting. If you have a tempestuous relationship with someone, that relationship can best be described by which of these words?
Stormy.
Yes. To scatter carelessly, box used by a cat. What same word will fill both of these definitions?
Litter.
Yeah. StingyBoss.com. You might use this internet address to reach what stingy boss who had a change of heart after seeing Tiny Tim in Dickens's A Christmas Carol.
Scrooge.
Yes. The heart and core, head and spirit of that country. This description was applied to what U.S. region with a two-word name that consists of the 6 northeastern states?
New England.
New England it is. McDonough with 180 points. From Rockville, Maryland, Wootton High School, Eve Fleissig. Good to see you again.
Hi, good to see you too. I'm Eve Fleissig. I'm a 15-year-old sophomore at Wootton High School, and I'd like to thank all the people who came out to see us today, as well as all our alternates who couldn't make it.
Great. Prahlad Sarma, hiya.
Hi, my name is Prahlad Sarma. I am a senior at Wootton High School, and I would like to thank our sponsor, Mr. Bentley, for supporting us.
And Martin Rakovchik.
Hi, I'm Martin Rakovchik. I'm a 15-year-old sophomore at Wootton, and I'd like to thank our school and our principal, Miss Boban.
All right, guys. Choose one word from each column, and you'll get what phrase identifying the volunteer soldiers available to fight at any time in the Revolutionary War. Yes, it's Minutemen. Silly, illegal, possible. If you had a plan that was feasible, that plan could best be described by which of these?
Possible.
Possible it is. A small piece of land, to conspire. What same four-letter word would satisfy both these definitions?
Plot?
Yes. Sportslegend.com. This could have been a website for what athlete? The first African-American baseball player to play in the modern major leagues.
Jackie Robinson?
Yeah. The sun is richly stored with inhabitants. This rather bizarre observation was made by astronomer William Herschel, who discovered what planet seventh from the sun?
Uranus?
Yippee! Wootton with 250 points. From Bethesda, Maryland, a gentleman from Landon High School. Ayus Pamecha, tell us about yourself.
Hi, I'm a 15-year-old sophomore, and I'd like to thank the jazz band who came out to support us today.
All righty, and Jaydeep Sangha.
Hi, I'm Jaydeep Sangha. I'm a 16-year-old junior. I'd like to thank our coach, Dr. Northcott, and our assistant coach, Mr. Drescher.
And Andrew Javins.
Hi, I'm Andrew Javins. I'm a 16-year-old junior. I'd like to thank Josh Engel for coming out supporting us. He's our alternate.
Okay, guys, here's the first question. With one word from each column, you can get what term referring to the number of molecules in a mole of any substance?
Avogadro's number.
Yeah. Incisive, ascetic, befuddled. Which of these words would best describe someone who was confused?
Befuddled.
Correct. To soar, a tsetse insect. What same word fits both definitions you see here?
Fly.
Yes. Drinkup.gov. If the classical gods had been connected to the internet, this might have been the website for what Roman god of wine, the equivalent of the Greek Dionysus?
Bacchus.
Yes. He who travels fastest, who travels... Sorry, let me do that over. He travels fastest, who travels alone. This well-known line comes from The Winners, a story by what British imperialist author who also wrote The Jungle Book?
Rudyard Kipling.
Rudyard Kipling is right. Landon with 230 points. That's the end of the round. We'll be right back.
For the Girl Scout meeting.
Okay.
Exact team. For the Girl Scout meeting.
How many meetings are you having?
Giant just dropped prices on thousands more items, which makes the checkout lane victory lane. My Giant. And now, get all varieties of Nature's Promise organic beans for 99 cents and Juicy Juice 8-packs for $1.99 every day.
Juicy T-bone.
Cupcakes with sprinkles.
Mamma mia.
Scrambled eggs.
Even Italians know Bertolli isn't just for Italian dishes. A switch to Bertolli olive oil can enhance all your recipes. Bertolli extra virgin for low heat cooking and dressing, Classico for grilling, and Bertolli extra light tasting for baking. No matter what recipe you make, Bertolli makes it special.
Mom, these are great.
No wonder it's America's favorite olive oil.
Viva Bertolli!
For the Landon Jazz Band, directed by Earl Jackson. One of the great joys of doing this show, and for you, audience, is to get to hear these guys. Just awesome, so thanks. It is time for the Picture Perfect round. Questions are worth 20 points, up or down. And let's recap the scores. First, McDonough, 180, Wootton, 250, and Landon, 230 points. Yay! All right, so you guys will be looking at the screens for your clue, and when the image comes up, it should make sense when I read the question. Are we ready? Okay. This is Frederick Remington's painting of pioneers on their way through what M-initialed desert of the American South, Wootton.
Mojave?
Yes. Henry VII of England, who's peering intensely at us now, was the first king of what royal dynasty? McDonough.
Tudors?
Tudor is right. Video nights are not what most tourists are looking for when they travel to Kathmandu, the capital of what? Wootton.
Nepal.
Nepal is it. If x equals 9, what is the value of this expression? Wootton?
6.
Answer?
6.
6 is right. Here you see a 19th century view of winter life in what European lowlands country? Landon.
Holland
Or the Netherlands. Yeah, you got it. Here you see which of the Great Lakes on whose shores you find both Milwaukee and Chicago. Wootton?
Lake Michigan?
Michigan is right. Mesoderm, endoderm, ectoderm. Choice. The gastrula stage of development in the embryo lacks which of these important cell layers found in later stages? Wootton?
Endoderm.
Nope, it's mesoderm. The observatory at Central Connecticut State University is named for what Polish astronomer who developed Wootton?
Copernicus?
Copernicus is it, and that is the end of the round.
Enjoying the fun on NBC Kids.
Tomorrow's NBC Kids lineup will be changed due to coverage of Barclays Premier League. The new NBC Kids schedule may be seen on the following dates and times here on NBC4.
How's Jim?
Better. He's coming home soon, and I'm going to assure that he doesn't fall again.
Really?
I listened to you and called Bathfitter. Bathfitter came into our home and turned our old tub into a beautiful new walk-in shower. They took care of everything, the shower seat, safety bars, and even the shower doors. Now we can safely stay in our home longer.
Call Bathfitter today for your free in-home estimate. Bathfitter, we're the perfect fit.
Strathmore presents The Tenors Under One Sky. Saturday, November 21st, the Music Center at Strathmore. Tickets on sale now at strathmore.org.
Landon Jazz Band, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, everybody. Today's contestants receive tickets to Sheer Madness, now in its 28th year at the Kennedy Center. Join the audience to match wits with the suspects to catch the killer in this popular comedy and see why one critic said it's the most fun I ever had at the Kennedy Center. And while they're there, you can check us out on Facebook and like us. It's time to meet the coaches and faculty that prepare the students for It's Academic. We begin with McDonough. Franklin, who's with you?
This is our sponsor, Miss Abel, and our principal, Mr. Snow.
From Wootton High School, Prahlad, who's with you?
This is our principal, Miss Bolden, and our sponsor, Mr. Bentley.
And from Landon, J.D., who's standing behind you?
Behind me on my right is our coach, Dr. Northcott.
Awesome. Great to have all of you here. So this is the fun part of the competition. We have 3 packets, 1, 2, and 3. McDonough gets to answer questions from one of them first, and Wootton gets to decide which packet it'll be.
2.
2? You sure? We could...
Yep.
2, okay. Here we go, McDonough. 25-point bonus if you get all 8 questions correct. There are over 200 tributaries that flow into what river, the longest in South America?
The Amazon.
Yeah. When Commodore Perry led his naval expedition to Japan in the early 1850s, his flagship was named for what southern state whose capital is Jackson?
Mississippi.
Yes. A wooden hunting weapon over 10,000 years old was discovered several years ago near what oldest U.S. national park?
Yellowstone.
Yep, it's Yellowstone. Here's your science question. Sodium, carbon, sulfur. Which of these elements is least likely to be found in nature in elemental form?
Sodium.
Yeah, that's right. Devout Hindus revere what 1,500-mile-long Indian river that flows past the Varanasi River and is said to have been created from the god Vishnu's sweat.
Ganges.
Yeah, it's a whale of a story, a reviewer might say, in describing what Melville novel about a great white whale?
Moby Dick.
Yes. Now for your math question. Evaluate this expression, giving your answer as an integer. 4. Yeah, 4 is right. He said he'd rather be right than president. What Kentucky senator who crafted the Compromise of 1850 made 3 unsuccessful bids for the presidency?
Clay.
25-point bonus from McDonough High School. Wootton, it's your turn. Landon, packet 1 or 3?
3.
3. The author, Theodore Geisel, is much better known by what pen name under which he cooked up children's books like Green Eggs and Ham?
Dr. Seuss?
Yes. Among his hundreds of inventions, Edison developed a process for separating the ore of what element whose atomic number is 26 and whose symbol is Fe?
Iron. Iron?
Yes, it's iron. According to myth, Apollo added 4 strings to the lyre, a musical instrument invented by what classical messenger god?
Hermes.
Hermes.
It is Hermes. Here's your science question. Lavoisier, Einstein, Archimedes. Which of these 3 men of science established law of conservation of matter?
Lavoisier.
Lavoisier.
Correct. During the French and Indian Wars, Generals Montcalm and Wolfe fought their last battle near Quebec on the plains, named for what biblical patriarch?
Abraham.
Yes. Both of the title characters are dead at the end of what Shakespeare tragedy about 2 young lovers from the Montague and Capulet families?
Romeo and Juliet?
Yeah, it's Romeo and Juliet. Here is your math question. Solve this equation for x.
5. 5?
It is 5. Several U.S. presidents have prided themselves on their unsophisticated appeal. And what 12th president was even known as Old Rough and Ready?
Zachary Taylor.
Zachary Taylor?
25-point bonus for Wootton. Packet number 1 for Landon. In the Capitol, there's a 30-foot mural depicting American history from Columbus to what brothers who flew the first airplane at Kitty Hawk?
Wright brothers.
Yeah, it's the Wright brothers. 13th century Venetians might have decorated their gondolas to welcome what traveler who had returned from 17 years in China at the court of Kublai Khan?
Marco Polo.
Yes. From 1800 to 1809, the state of Illinois was under the jurisdiction of what 1787 ordinance with a directional name?
The expansion ordinance.
No, it's the Northwest Ordinance. Here's your science question. Desalinization, electrolysis, distillation. If your job were the refining of copper, you should make regular use of which of these processes?
Electrolysis.
Yes. President Franklin Pierce belonged to the Aztec Club, a group composed of veterans of what war fought in the 1840s?
The Mexican-American War.
You are right. John Thornton is the principal human character in what Jack London novel about a sled dog named Buck?
Call of the Wild.
It is Call of the Wild. Here's your math question. Solve for x.
121.
No, it's 110. In gratitude for his food relief work during World War I, Belgium presented a symbolic sack of flour to what man who later became our 31st president? Answer?
Taft.
Nope, it's Herbert Hoover. But good job, Landon. 350 points. And we're coming back for the grab bag.
For the Girl Scout meeting.
Okay.
Good job, team.
For the Girl Scout meeting.
How many meetings are you having?
Giant just dropped prices on thousands more items, which makes the checkout lane victory lane. My Giant. And now, get all varieties of Nature's Promise organic beans for 99 cents and Juicy Juice 8-packs for $1.99 every day.
I used to spend 3 hours a day commuting. It was so frustrating. I even told my boss I was going to have to find a new job. Then our HR director put me in touch with Commuter Connections. They have so many options to choose from. Some save you time, some save you money. They even make sure you can get home in an unexpected emergency. I've been carpooling about 2 months now, and I love it. And I love my job again.
Visit Commuter Connections on the web or call today. Commuter Connections, flexible solutions for a better commute.
Now everyone at home should get ready for another year of Giant's A+ school rewards. You can earn points and help local schools every time you use your Giant card. To you, Giant has been able to award over $90 million to thousands of schools over the past 26 years and has already committed $2 million to this year's program. Signing up your Giant card is easy. Simply go to giantfood.com or stop by the Customer Solutions Center at any Giant store. Then when you shop at Giant, you'll be part of the magic of A+ school rewards. Into this grab bag round, here's the first question. One of the big hits of the current Broadway season is the hip-hop musical based on Wootton?
Alexander Hamilton.
You are right. Port Charlotte, Florida is the spring training site for what baseball team whose home city is on Florida's west coast? Landon.
Marlins.
Yes, no, the Tampa Bay Rays. No, ancient Greek travelers risked losing their lives if they couldn't answer the riddle asked by what mythical Wootton?
Sphinx.
On your screens for 30 points. The fight to repeal prohibition, as illustrated in this painting, ended in success with the passage of what number? Wootton.
21st.
21st is right. Victor Berger was the first member of Congress from what political party that 5 times nominated Eugene Debs for president? McDonough.
Socialist.
Socialist Party is right. What number is halfway between 44 and 90? Answer, Landon.
71.
Nope, it's 67. Most Pacific Island atolls are formed by the skeletal deposits of what sea? Landon.
Volcanoes.
No, coral is what we're looking for. On your screens for 30 points. Poke at. Poke at this phrase and you can rearrange the letters to get what city? Wootton.
Topeka.
Topeka is right. We're looking for 1954 Brown v. Board of Education. Some opera companies use real elephants and camels when they stage what Verdi opera set in Egypt? Wootton.
Aida.
Aida is it. In April 1945, one of the last major World War II battles began when Allied forces launched the invasion of what O-initialed Japanese island? Wootton.
Okinawa.
Yeah. Revolutionary Petunias is a book of poetry by what African-American woman whose writing career blossomed with the novel The Color Purple? Wootton.
Alice Walker.
Alice Walker.
Alice Walker's right. On your screens for 30 points. The missing name here is that of what legendary Wootton?
Agamemnon.
Yes. Choice. If a beam of light were flashed on a plane mirror, the angle of incidence would be equal to the angle of refraction. Wootton?
Reflection.
Reflection is it. And that is the end of the game. Good job, everyone.
Now through November 13th, join Planet Fitness for just $10 down, $10 a month with no commitment. You get cardio and strength machines, unlimited fitness training, friendly staff, and spacious locker rooms, all in a judgment-free zone. It's like a cornucopia of benefits, all for only $10 down, $10 a month with... That's a deal you could be thankful for. $10 down, $10 a month with no commitment.
Join Planet Fitness in club or online at planetfitness.com now through November 13th.
Join any area Planet Fitness for only $10 down, $10 a month now through November 13th.
We're not a gym, we're Planet Fitness.
Got a car? Got a title? Turn them into cash with Title Max.
I got $1,000.
$2,500.
$10,000. Title Max accepts all makes, all models, and you can get your cash in as little as 30 minutes. Title Max has competitive rates in over 1,200 locations. Next time you need cash, take your title to Title Max and say,
I got my title back with Title Max.
call 1-88-TITLE-MAX or go to TitleMax.com.
Get your title back with Title Max.
Celebrity Cruises. Modern luxury lives here. Choose one free perk when you book a Europe cruise.
Eric Shai was wounded while serving his country. Thankfully, Wounded Warrior Project was there to help with 20 free programs and services designed to assist warriors and their families through recovery.
Now through November 20th, support the brands that support our heroes. The makers of Hormel pepperoni products are proud to support Wounded Warrior Project. Pep up your food and pep up your mood. Pep it up with Hormel pepperoni. To learn how you can help, visit www.believe.org.
News 4 at 11 is Washington's #1 late news.
All right, the scores are now official. We begin with Landon, 290 points for Andrew, J. Deep, and Ayush. Good job. From Charles County, McDonough, Shadea, Franklin, and Madison with 405 points. And with their finger affixed to the button, Wootton High School, Martin, Prahlad, and Eve with 725 points coming back for the playoff. I want to thank the Landon Jazz Band and the Rammy, whose name is Cassie Higgs. Got it right this time. Next week, Einstein, Parkview, and St. Anselm's. Until then, I'm Hillary Howard. See you then. Everybody else, come on down.